A rock the size of half a mile just proved that everything we thought we understood about how our solar system works might be wrong. Not a little wrong. Fundamentally wrong. And the craziest part? NASA didn't even plan to find it. They were just running a test. Let me take you through one of the most jaw-dropping chains of discoveries in recent space exploration history. Discoveries that started with a warm-up flyby that nobody was supposed to care about, and ended with scientists completely rewriting the rules of asteroid science. This is the story of NASA's Lucy spacecraft, and what it found out there in the dark. First, let me tell you what Lucy actually is, because this mission is unlike anything NASA has ever attempted. Lucy launched on October 16, 2021, from Cape Canaveral. The name comes from a famous fossil, a 3.2 million-year-old skeleton of an ancient human ancestor discovered in Ethiopia in 1974. That fossil was called Lucy. And just like that fossil gave scientists an unexpected window into human origins, this spacecraft is designed to give scientists an unexpected window into the origins of our solar system. The logic is brilliant when you think about it. Asteroids are like time capsules. They haven't really changed in billions of years. They preserve the chemistry, the structure, the physical conditions of the earliest days of our solar system, back when planets were still being assembled from dust and rock. So studying them is almost like reading a history book, not a history of a country or a civilization, but a history of everything. Now, here is what makes the Lucy mission truly extraordinary. It is planned to visit 11 asteroids over a 12-year journey covering about 4 billion miles. No spacecraft in history has ever attempted to visit this many asteroids in a single mission. And the main targets are something called Jupiter Trojans, a population of asteroids that orbit the Sun in two massive swarms, one leading Jupiter and one trailing it, locked in gravitational harmony with the giant planet. These objects have never been visited by any spacecraft, ever. Scientists think they are ancient remnants from the very formation of the outer solar system. Primitive, unchanged, and full of secrets, Lucy is heading there. But on the way, it had a couple of stops to make, and those stops turned into something nobody expected. The first stop was an asteroid named Dinkinesh, and here is where the story gets wild. Dinkinesh was added to the mission very late. The asteroid was not originally on the itinerary at all. Scientists spotted it as a potential target because Lucy would be passing close enough to get a look, and they decided to use it as a test run, a way to rehearse the systems that Lucy would need when it finally reached the big targets. Dinkinesh was chosen precisely because it seemed boring, small, unremarkable. A half-mile wide rock in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The kind of thing you use to calibrate your equipment before the real show begins. Nobody expected Dinkinesh to matter. On November 1st, 2023, Lucy flew past Dinkinesh at a distance of about 270 miles, close enough to take detailed images. The spacecraft was moving fast, so the encounter lasted only minutes. The science team back on Earth waited for the data to arrive, expecting routine confirmation photos. What they got instead was one of the most surprising images in the history of planetary science. Dinkinesh was not alone. There, orbiting the tiny asteroid, was a moon, a satellite, a little companion rock that nobody had detected from Earth-based observations. Scientists immediately named it Selim, an Amharic word meaning peace, chosen because Dinkinesh itself means the marvelous one in Amharic. And both names connect back to the original Lucy fossil story. Finding a moon around a small asteroid was already surprising. Binary asteroid systems do exist, but they are not common, and finding one during what was supposed to be a routine test flyby was genuinely remarkable. But then more data came in, and the science team looked more carefully at Selim, and they realized they had not found a moon. They had found something that had never been discovered before in the entire history of space exploration. Selim was not a single object. It was two objects. Two separate rocky bodies, gently pressed together and fused into one, orbiting Dinkinesh as a single unit. Scientists call this a contact binary, when two objects collide very slowly, without enough force to shatter each other, and instead just stick together like two blobs of dough being pressed into one. What Lucy had discovered was the first ever confirmed contact binary satellite of an asteroid. A moon made of two moons fused together, orbiting a rock that nobody thought was interesting. This had never been seen before, not once, in all of human space exploration. Think about that. We have sent spacecraft past hundreds of objects in our solar system. We have visited the Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, comets, and dozens of asteroids. And in all of that exploration, nobody had ever caught a contact binary orbiting another asteroid. Lucy found one on its very first flyby, during a test run. But it gets more complicated. When scientists analyzed the full data set from the Dinkinesh flyby, they found that the story of how Selim formed was stranger than anyone had guessed. Looking at Dinkinesh itself, they spotted two distinct geological features. There was a long trough, essentially a scar running along one side of the asteroid, and there was a ridge running along its equator, like a belt of rock that had piled up around the middle. These two features told a violent story. Scientists worked out that at some point in the past, something caused Dinkinesh to spin too fast. The leading theory involves a process called YORP, which stands for Yarkovsky-O'Keefe-Radzevsky-Padak. It is a subtle but relentless effect where sunlight hits an asteroid unevenly and gradually changes its rotation rate over thousands or millions of years, like a slow, invisible hand spinning a top. When Dinkinesh spun too fast, about a quarter of its mass suddenly broke away. That breaking created the trough. The loose debris flew outward, some of it fell back and formed the ridge, and some of it drifted into orbit, where over time it gathered and settled into two separate bodies that eventually drifted close enough to fuse into Salem. An entire miniature solar system born from one asteroid shaking itself apart. The paper describing all of this was published in the journal Nature in May 2024, and it immediately attracted enormous attention from the planetary science community. Researchers at institutions including the University of Maryland, the Southwest Research Institute, Johns Hopkins APL, and NASA Goddard contributed to the findings. The conclusion was clear. Even the smallest, most seemingly boring asteroids in our solar system can have histories of extraordinary complexity. And Lucy had proven it on what was essentially a practice run. Then came the second flyby, and this one, if you can believe it, was even more bizarre. The asteroid is named Donaldjohanson. It was named after the paleoanthropologist Donaldjohanson, the scientist who helped discover and study the original Lucy fossil in Ethiopia. The naming makes a beautiful kind of sense. The spacecraft named after the fossil is visiting an asteroid named after the man who found the fossil. But what Lucy discovered at Donaldjohanson in April 2025 was nothing that anyone, not Donaldjohanson, not NASA scientists, not anyone, could have predicted. On April 20th, 2025, Easter Sunday, Lucy swept within 960 kilometers, roughly 600 miles, of Donaldjohanson at a speed of roughly 30,000 miles per hour. The spacecraft was traveling so fast and the encounter window was so brief that Lucy's instruments had to automatically shut down 40 seconds before closest approach to protect the cameras from direct sunlight. Even so, it collected images and spectral data of extraordinary quality. What came back to Earth over the next several days rewrote the book on this particular rock. Start with the shape. Before the flyby, scientists knew from Earth-based observations that Donaldjohanson had significant brightness variations on a roughly 10-day cycle, which suggested it was elongated and rotating. They expected something lumpy and stretched out. What they were not fully prepared for was the sheer strangeness of the object's geometry. Donaldjohanson is a contact binary. Like Salem, it is formed from two separate bodies that collided and fused. But the way these two lobes are connected is unlike anything scientists have seen before. The neck between them, the narrow bridge joining the two halves, is shaped like two ice cream cones placed tip to tip and nested together. NASA literally described it that way in their official announcement. Two nested ice cream cones. In space. It stretches roughly 8.8 kilometers long and about 4.4 kilometers wide, making it nearly the length of 100 football fields end to end. The asteroid formed approximately 155 million years ago, when a much larger object was destroyed in a catastrophic collision. The two pieces that make up Donaldjohanson today slowly drifted back together under their mutual gravity and gently merged. Not a crash, but more like a slow, tender reunion of two fragments from the same shattered parent. Scientists from Southwest Research Institute describe the geology as strikingly complicated, filled with craters of different ages and surface textures that record a long history of smaller impacts and changes. But the shape was just the beginning. The rotation of Donaldjohanson is what truly broke the minds of the science team. Before the flyby, Earth-based telescopes had measured the asteroid rotating once every 10.5 days. That is slow by asteroid standards, but perfectly normal. What Lucy's data revealed was that the 10.5-day rotation was only part of the picture. The asteroid was also undergoing a second, completely separate wobble around its long axis, a tumbling motion that repeats every 26.5 days. Taken together, these two motions mean that Donaldjohanson does not spin like a ball or a top. It tumbles through space like a football thrown by someone who had absolutely no idea what they were doing. Scientists call this a non-principal axis rotation state, and it means the asteroid is wobbling in a way that is deeply unusual. Most asteroids settle into a single stable spin over time. This one has not. It is caught in a kind of perpetual physical confusion, rotating on two axes simultaneously in a pattern that existing models had not predicted. This finding was published in the journal Science on June 18, 2026, authored by Dr. Simone Marchi, Deputy Principal Investigator of the Lucy mission, and his team. The paper was clear. 3 major unexpected findings at Donaldjohanson. The strange two-axis tumbling rotation, the bizarre ice cream cone neck geometry, and the third finding, and this is the one that genuinely took everyone's breath away when the data came in, the presence of liquid water, or rather, the evidence of liquid water that once existed there long ago. Lucy carries an infrared spectrometer, and when it pointed that instrument at the surface of Donaldjohanson during the flyby, it detected something specific and extraordinary: iron-rich clay minerals. Now, clay minerals do not form from dry rock. They form when liquid water interacts with rocky material over time. Finding iron-rich clay on an asteroid in the main asteroid belt, an asteroid that formed only 155 million years ago and is barely half a mile wide, means that at some point in the history of its parent body, there was liquid water present. Not just ice, not just vapor. Liquid water, existing inside a rocky asteroid somewhere in the belt between Mars and Jupiter. To understand why this is so significant, you need to think about where Earth's water came from. That is one of the biggest open questions in planetary science. Earth formed in the inner solar system, where temperatures were high enough to bake out volatiles like water. So, how did Earth end up covered in oceans? The leading theory is that water was delivered to early Earth by impacts. Asteroids and comets that carried water from the cooler outer regions of the solar system and smashed into our planet billions of years ago. The composition of Earth's oceans closely matches what scientists expect from certain types of water-bearing asteroids. And now, Lucy has found direct evidence of water chemistry on an asteroid in the main belt. That means water-bearing material was present and active in the asteroid belt, close enough to Earth's neighborhood to have potentially contributed to our oceans. Scientists compared the clay minerals on Donaldjohanson to other asteroids. When NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission visited the asteroid Bennu, and when the Japanese Hayabusa 2 mission visited Ryugu, both found clay minerals too. But the clays on Bennu and Ryugu are magnesium-rich, not iron-rich, suggesting those asteroids had liquid water present for much longer, possibly millions of years, while they were still embedded in larger parent bodies. The iron-rich clays on Donaldjohanson point to a much shorter water episode, a brief encounter, a flash of liquid water chemistry in the interior of Donaldjohanson's parent before that parent was destroyed. And because Donaldjohanson itself only formed 155 million years ago, making it far younger than Bennu or Ryugu, which are 1 to 2 billion years old, it may represent a different chapter in the story of how water moved around the early solar system. These differences tell scientists that the parent asteroids of Bennu, Ryugu, and Donaldjohanson probably formed in different regions or at different times, and then migrated into the main belt over billions of years. Each one is a chapter in the same book. Now pause for a moment and realize what Lucy has accomplished. It has made 2 asteroid flybys. Both were supposed to be warm-ups. Both produced discoveries that were, in their respective categories, genuinely the first of their kind in human history. A contact binary satellite, a wobbling double-lobed asteroid with ancient water chemistry. And both of these were just the practice rounds. The opening acts, the real mission, the Jupiter Trojans, has not even started yet. Lucy will reach the Trojan asteroid swarms in 2027, and everything about what those asteroids might look like and what they might contain is still a complete mystery. No spacecraft has ever visited a Jupiter Trojan. Scientists have theoretical models, but models are not the same as reality, as Lucy has already demonstrated twice. The Trojans are believed to be among the most primitive objects in the solar system, darker, more carbon-rich, possibly containing organic molecules that predate the formation of Earth. Some scientists think they may have originated in the outermost regions of the solar system, far beyond Neptune, and were gravitationally captured into Jupiter's orbit during a period of massive solar system restructuring billions of years ago. If that is true, they are essentially messengers from the most distant and ancient parts of our cosmic neighborhood. Lucy will visit at least 6 of them between 2027 and 2033. They include objects in the Euripides family, a collisional cluster of asteroids thought to share a common shattered parent, as well as Patroclus and Menuetius, a rare near-equal mass binary pair, 2 similarly sized rocks orbiting each other. Each target represents something different. Each one carries a different piece of the early solar system story. And given what Lucy has already found on what were supposed to be the unimportant warm-up stops, the scientific community is paying very close attention. The principal investigator of the Lucy mission is Dr. Hal Levison from the Southwest Research Institute in Boulder, Colorado. After the Donaldjohanson flyby, he said something worth repeating. He called the warm-up asteroids proving to be quite interesting in their own right. That is the scientific understatement of the decade. These were not supposed to be interesting. They were supposed to be rehearsals. And yet both of them produced discoveries that will be cited in scientific literature for decades. There is something deeper here that is worth sitting with. We live in an era where space exploration is faster, more capable, and more productive than at any previous point in human history. Spacecraft are smaller, instruments are more sensitive, and the computers that process data are more powerful than anything the original space age had access to. And yet, again and again, when we actually go somewhere and look closely, the universe surprises us. Not in small ways, in fundamental ways. Things that seemed boring turn out to be fascinating. Objects we assumed were simple turn out to be staggeringly complex. The solar system keeps being stranger than our models. What Lucy found at Dinkinesh should not exist. A moon made of two moons, born from an asteroid shaking itself apart through sunlight alone. What it found at Donaldjohanson should not behave the way it does. A peanut-shaped, ice cream cone-necked, double-axis wobbling rock carrying the chemical signature of ancient liquid water, formed just 155 million years ago in a belt of debris between two planets. Both of these discoveries were made at targets that the mission essentially treated as afterthoughts. And the real targets have not been visited yet. This is why missions like Lucy matter. This is why spending billions of dollars to send a spacecraft on a 12-year, 4 billion-mile journey through the solar system makes sense. Not because we know what we will find, but precisely because we do not. Every time humanity has pointed an instrument at something new and close enough to see clearly, the answer has been more complicated and more interesting than the question we asked. Lucy is pointing at things no instrument has ever reached before, in a part of the solar system nobody has ever visited, looking at objects that have been sitting in the dark and the cold for billions of years, completely unchanged, waiting. And based on what we have already found, based on the double moon that should not exist, the wobbling peanut that defies our models, the ancient water chemistry frozen in iron-rich clay on the surface of a rock born from a catastrophe 155 million years ago, based on all of that, the smart money says that when Lucy reaches the Trojans in 2027, it is going to find something that none of us expected. The mission is already one of the great scientific journeys of the 21st century, and it is barely getting started. Lucy is out there right now, moving through the main asteroid belt at more than 30,000 miles per hour, heading toward Jupiter's gravitational neighborhood, carrying instruments tuned and calibrated from everything it has already learned. The team at Southwest Research Institute, NASA Goddard, Johns Hopkins APL, and Lockheed Martin are tracking it every day. Every data point that comes back is another piece of the solar system's biography. Every new image is a page from a book that nobody has read before. We know the solar system formed 4.6 billion years ago from a swirling cloud of gas and dust. We know it went through the periods of violent chaos, giant planet migrations, catastrophic collisions, and gradual settling into the relatively stable arrangement we see today. But we do not fully know the details. We do not know exactly where different materials formed, how water moved through the system, how the building blocks of Earth and the other rocky planets were assembled. Lucy is out there looking for those answers in the oldest surviving evidence, the asteroids that watched it all happen from a front row seat and have been holding their secrets ever since. A half-mile-wide rock in the middle of the asteroid belt just told us that liquid water existed inside it. That should not happen. It is too small. It is too young. It is in the wrong part of the solar system. And yet the chemistry is right there, locked in iron-rich clay on its surface, undeniable and waiting to be understood. That is the kind of discovery that changes textbooks. That is the kind of discovery that makes scientists question their assumptions and rebuild their models from scratch. And that is exactly what great science looks like. Not a confirmation of what we already believed, but a door swinging open onto something we did not expect to find. Lucy is on its way. The Trojans are waiting. And whatever is out there has never been seen by human eyes before. Stay curious, because the universe is stranger than you think. And right now, NASA is driving straight toward the strangest part of it.